New markers will not solve all your problems, but these new Sharpie Creative colors might help you forget about your problems for a minute or two. If you've been frustrated by the lack of color options of Sharpie Creative markers, this video is for you. The new colors are called earth tones. These are the old colors and the new colors. When I say old, it hasn't been a year yet. They're still pretty new. The old colors come in the brush tip and the bullet tip. The new earth tone colors only come in the bullet tip. The pen is really great, can stand up on its own. The cap stays on the bottom of the pen really well. A month ago, I received a comment saying that they saw the new earth tone colors on Sharpie's website. Well, when I went to buy them, they were not a product you could buy, but a couple weeks ago, I was updating my Amazon favorites and I happened to see the earth tones listed on Amazon. You know, I immediately bought them. I'm grateful for your comments letting me know about new pens to make sure I don't miss them. Let's swatch these colors to see the original colors and the earth tone colors side by side. And don't worry, we're going to do more than just swatch in this video. I have many ideas to actually use these markers. I accidentally skipped the blue, but these markers are great because they're opaque, especially the darker colors. So I just did blue on top of the purple, and you can't even tell. Looking at the new colors, I don't really see them as earth tones. There is a brown, but I would say these are more like pastel colors, but maybe vibrant pastels? Can you use vibrant to describe pastel? Before we get into what you can do with these new colors, I want to remind you that new pens are not going to make you magically good at hand lettering and art. You can make beautiful lettering with exactly what you have. It can be fun to explore new pens, especially new colors, but they're not going to solve all of your problems. For example, when I started filling my notebook with these, I had zero ideas of what to make and share with you. That's why I did this page, No Bad Ideas. I truly believe that not everything is going to be a masterpiece, but you'll never make a masterpiece without making tons and tons of mediocre or even bad art. On this previous page, I had done these hearts before starting to film because I didn't know if it was good enough to share. On this page, my idea was to just fill the page with words. And I have this book that has beautiful quotes that I look through for inspiration. I'll show that to you in just a minute. I had penciled this out, so that is a helpful tip for you if you want to do some curved letters. I just drew the curve and then penciled out how the letters would go. On Don't Worry, I realized the D, there's some extra space right there that I didn't love after I had erased everything. So I'll show you how I fixed that. But here's the book. It's called You've Totally Got This. It's just filled with quotes, and this was one of the quotes. I love having books like this so I don't have to go on social media to look up inspiration, because as fun as that is, it definitely can be a distraction when I'm just trying to create. So the great thing about these pens, the white one, is really good. They're so forgiving with mistakes. I just covered up the D that I didn't like, and I was able to do this little flourish, and that used that space right there, and it filled it up. Next, I decided to do my rainbow river that I often do. I can look at this rainbow now and see that's a really nice rainbow. But at the time, I was just feeling really off creatively, and I didn't end up liking this one, and I went through a few pieces that I'm going to show you that I just was really struggling creatively. But don't worry, stick with me. We're going to get through the tough stuff and get to some pieces that I really, really loved. I'm going to show you how I worked through it. And the quote for this one, life is a wild ride, just go with it. I'm using my Micron pen. These bullet tip pens are a little bit thick, so if you want bold lettering, they're great for that, but you will need a different pen if you want to do fine lettering. For this next page, I wanted to try doing my words inside boxes, and I love this deep blue, and I also love this peachy corally pink. It's not really coral. So I had no plan, but I just started going with it, and I decided to do just a bunch of random shapes, and I'm just placing them. It's almost as if it's a puzzle. I'm realizing that I really don't like the words. I don't like keep it simple. Something about the pink on the blue, I'm not quite sure. It just isn't feeling quite right. Well, I decided to cover up the pink lettering, and I'm going to make it white. But also the blue is such a huge contrast against the pink, and I usually like a big contrast, but for some reason, maybe it's that they're straight rectangles instead of the really curvy shapes that I did with the pink. So it's like too much different. And I did white for keep it simple. I do like that better than the pink, but I still didn't love the final of this piece. So I decided I needed to try it again, but maybe what if I just did the full page with the rectangles? And I can put my word wherever I want inside the rectangles. So this is a really simple idea and it's very therapeutic. Draw a bunch of rectangles, filling them in, you're using your pens, and it kind of looks like mosaic tiles, but very straight. But halfway through, I start thinking, how do I want to use the shapes that I had before in the pink? Maybe I should do a page with just the shapes. So instead of finishing the blue tiles, I turned the page and started working on this one. And I'm using the purple this time. This is a really, really pretty purple. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking through some of the shapes are going to be small, but some of them are going to be bigger so that I can add some words inside. But then halfway through, I decided I don't know what words I'm even going to put in here. So let's go back to the rectangles. It feels good to just fill a page with rectangles. This is my Archer and Olive notebook and it's a pocket size. So that makes it easier because it's a smaller size to fill up. And I have the dot grid. So that makes it easy so that I'm counting how many dots to make the rectangles. But then I don't know what word I'm going to put in it. So I'm going back to the purple one. And this is a really great idea too if you don't like the very straight, exact, neat look. This one is great to just doodle some shapes. Whatever is coming to your mind at the time. They don't have to be real things. They're just random little shapes. And finally, I'm deciding I'm going to write trust yourself and I'm using the white. And I had these two bigger shapes next to each other to be able to fill them in. And the white is pretty good, but it did need 2 layers to make it really stand out. And then I can also use the white to touch up some spots that need some cleaning up. Ta-da! This one feels much more satisfying than the blue and pink one. Okay, now I'm going to experiment with the blue, which colors look great on top of the blue. So I'm just testing every single color that I have. As I'm going through these, I find that I really like the light blue the best. It kind of looks like white, but not quite. So I'm going in with the light blue and I'm writing simplicity. And this is great if you don't have ideas for your lettering. All you have to do is fit in your lettering right inside those rectangles. I'm loving how this one turned out. It's very simple, very clean, straight edges. This one was an easy win. I went to an art paint night where we painted on chocolate. It was amazing. But the point is, I saw this canvas and I really liked it. I took a picture because I wanted to make something like it. So that's where the inspiration came for this next one. So I'm testing out different colors and it doesn't take long. I'm like, why don't I try using the brown? Because I usually don't use brown in my work. So I come up with these colors right here and I do like this combination of colors, but I didn't end up liking the piece that I made with it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm doing the white on top. Then I'm exploring if I were to use my black. So the black didn't come in these earth tones. The black is in the original colors, but I'm deciding I don't even like the black. Anyway, this is all an experiment. So I thought this one was going to be a fun one to share with you, but I didn't end up liking it. This is actually what happens. You might make a bunch of different pieces and end up not liking any of them. But you just got to keep going. You can't give up when you make something that you don't like. Figure out why you don't like it and what can you do to change it up. I do like these colors, but also the white doesn't stand out very well on the lighter colors. So really the white only stands out on the dark blue, and on the other ones you can't even really see my lettering very well. It's not a big enough contrast. So then I just started doing stripes because I like stripes. I needed another win that would make me feel like I'm having good ideas today, and this one, the stripes turned out great, but then I wanted to fill in the stripes, and I've been seeing bows everywhere lately. I just think they're so cute. So I'm doing a bunch of bows, but then I wrote cute it's fine. It works here. I mean, the bows are super cute, but also like, what even is the point of this page? That's how I was feeling. Even though I know the point is we create because creating makes us feel good. The point is not to have the beautiful end result. The point is the act of creating. And don't worry, I'll figure that out in the next pages that are coming. I just was having a moment. So at this point, I was feeling pretty frustrated, and I just grabbed these 6 colors and I went to the couch and just created whatever I wanted, decided I wasn't going to film it at all. And then I ended up making some really cool things. For example, here's my first one, and then I tried it again with these colors, and I love this so much. The blue is still a little bit dark. It's not enough of a contrast. So then I did this page, and look at that. That looks so much better than my first piece. I love this one so much. With this page I'm going to do a yellow and a purple. I love this idea. If you're feeling stuck, just do what feels satisfying. If the end product isn't as satisfying as you thought, maybe try something else. I loved making these rectangles, and I kind of went a little crazy. I couldn't stop making pages with these, as you will see. This definitely helped me get my creative mojo back using these pens. And with this first page, I realized that I forgot to use the minty green. And so I thought, well, why don't I just try it on the next page with the minty green? And then I can compare the two and see which one I like better. Because why does it have to be perfect? It's all an experiment. We're all just playing, right? And now I can see them side by side. And then I couldn't decide if I wanted to use that vibrant blue or the dark deep blue. So I thought I'll just do one on each side and then I can compare. I'm doing a bunch of different styles for the word color. And I'm adding some stars and dots around the outside. And I can see I'm not so sure about this blue, so I'm excited to try the really deep dark blue. For this side, I'm doing the word play in those different styles. It is so much fun to just play with styles. There's no wrong style. You really can't do it wrong. With hand lettering, it's your own creativity. You get to make it up. And as long as you can read what the word is, there's no right or wrong way to do it when it comes to your own creativity. Let yourself play and explore. And I definitely like the darker blue better than the lighter, vibrant blue. Next, I wanted to take this page, but add more colors. So I started with the bigger ovals, so I know that's where my lettering will be going. And then as I started doing my other dots, they are more circle shaped than the original one was definitely all ovals. I just wanted to try the circles. I don't like it as much as I did like the oval one, but I do like that there's more colors in this one. It's all an experiment. And now I can compare the two, and I actually like the play to grow more than I like the play and explore. Now I'm going to recreate this piece. Remember that medium blue, I didn't feel like it had enough contrast, so I'm going to do this again, but without using that medium blue. And I left a little bit of space between my squares so that I can have that elongated look with my lettering. It's really easy to read. And then I did a little bit of confetti on the bottom just to fill up the space. I like this one so much better than the other one before, especially so much better than the very first style of this that I did with the brown. Next, I had this idea to just do a long quote. I'm counting my dots so I can lay it out just right. And then I'm taking the center of my page, and that's where I'm starting. I love this quote I recently heard. It's not about being good at creativity. It's about creativity being good for you. And that is the whole point of this video, because some pages I really did not feel like I was good at it. And why am I sharing this? And why am I trying to make these things happen when it's not working? So I create not because I'm good at it, but because I need it. And I wanted to add some color here. So the cool thing about these markers is that you can do this. I can just go on top with the blue and re-letter. And that way I could lay out my quote first. I could erase all the pencil marks really, really well, and then add these colors and it looks like they're underneath. It was just a really simple way to make that happen. For this next one, I asked ChatGPT for 5-word quotes. So that is a great way to get quotes to letter. And I covered up a little oopsie daisy there. The white one is great once again. For this one, I wanted to use that orange tan color, but I realized that I didn't actually love it. It stands out way too much. It doesn't flow with that ombre, but I tried it and now I know. Small steps lead to big growth. I also tried the medium blue stars, and I also didn't like that as much. I want the stars to be the same as the lettering. So here is where I got to so far, and I was going to stop right here, but then I got so excited, the ideas were flowing, and that's what I mean when I say you cannot use up your creativity. The more you create, the more ideas you'll have, the more creative you'll feel. For this one, I finger lettered the word hello to just kind of get a feel for how much spacing I needed. I didn't want to use pencil on here. And this quote, if you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. Here I go again, more rectangles. This time the rectangles are going to be smaller, and I wanted to see if I could do some stripes on the outside. Like I said, I just started having more ideas. And so I took the one thing that I really liked and I started pushing it into new directions and what I could try. And some of them didn't work out, but it led me to something else that I liked. So here I'm doing there are no bad ideas, the same quote as the beginning. But I want to try it again, but this time with vertical stripes. And the pink, I got it a little bit off. It wasn't totally straight, but then that sparked an idea. It was a little mistake, but it sparked an idea to mismatch these blocks almost like they are falling a little bit on top of each other, straight blocks, but not straight on top of each other. And I would not have had that idea if I hadn't made that little mistake with the pink one on the top. And I wouldn't have had that idea if I hadn't kept going. And what I found with this one is that I didn't like the vertical stripes, but I did really like the mismatched, not so straight rectangles. There are no bad ideas. Again, there's nothing wrong with reusing quotes. Do whatever you need to just keep creating. So I wanted to do the rectangle idea again, but now in my black journal. But first I needed to explore these colors in my black journal. I wanted to compare the new colors and the original colors. So I'm doing what I love most, different styles with the same word. And here you can really see how these pens shine when it comes to brush lettering, calligraphy. You can get the thick downstrokes and thin upstrokes. So that's the thing about the bullet tips. They are soft, flexible. They're not hard like other bullet tip acrylic paint markers. I haven't actually seen other bullet tip markers that are like this for acrylic paint. And that is why I love them so much. I'm so glad they came out with these new colors. They're so pretty. I love these new colors, probably more than the original colors. Right here, I was so focused on the styles I was doing, I accidentally lettered new instead of old. Darn it. Part of me wanted to fix it and redo it or cover it up somehow. But I fought against that perfectionist urge and I just left it. And guess what? Nothing happened. I can still like this journal page even with the imperfections. Now you can see them side by side on the black paper. I love this page so much with all the different styles. It makes me so happy. For the page that I'm going to do on the black paper, I'm using washi tape to make the rectangles because I want these rectangles to be black, and I'm going to do some wavy rainbow in the background. Usually I use the brush tip to get this wavy background because it's a thicker tip. So this one, it's a bold bullet tip, but it's not as thick as the brush tip. And so it did take a lot more to get it out, and it felt a little bit more streaky than the brush tip. So I just really hope that they come out with these colors in the brush tips. I feel like it's very likely they would, but we'll see. But I just love how well they show up on the black paper. Peeling off the washi tape is so satisfying. You can see that I didn't stack them right on top of each other. I did do them straight, but they are shifted a little bit. It worked so well. Look at that stark contrast from the waves of the background and the black rectangles. And then I'm using my white and I'm going to do different styles for the word explore. So the thing about your creativity, just consider what is making you happy, even if it's just recreating something that you tried before. Or you might find something else that you gravitate towards and you want to just keep doing. Lean into that process and trust that you can make it good. Ta-da! It's magic. I love it so much. It turned out way better than what I was expecting. When I first started, I was not happy, not sure what I could come up with. And then in the end, it felt so good to create something that was satisfying and made me happy. So if you ever feel this way in your own creativity, just keep going. Don't forget to breathe. And for more ideas on what to create with the Sharpie Creative markers, check out this video right here. I'll see you there.